One of the most important things you need to watch out for in your financial work are liabilities. On today's video, I want to share with you what liabilities can do to your finances. Coming up. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Franklin from the Money Code Academy. If this is your first time of watching, I would like you to consider subscribing, because on this channel I talk about financial freedom, I talk about personal finance, I talk about entrepreneurship and everything in between. Now don't forget to click on the notification bell so that the next time I post a new video, you will be the first to receive that video. And of course, if at any point you like any of the things that I'm sharing with you on this video, don't forget to smash the like button and of course drop me a comment. So let's get right into it. Liabilities. Let's talk about liabilities. Now before I dive into what liabilities are, I would like to give you a little story about myself. Many years ago, I was very ignorant about liabilities, and it cost me a lot, because it got to a point I realized that I was earning quite all right, but at the end of the month, I was always left with nothing. It kept on happening over and over, and when it was time for me to file income tax, my chartered accountant pointed it out. So when she was going through all the books of account, and she was like, "What's going on here, Franklin?" And I was looking at her like, "What are you saying?" She said, "Your liabilities are too much. You're not doing anything about it." So I was like, "What is a liability?" I didn't know. And then she took her time to educate me on that. And that was when my eyes became opened. Now, there are some of you who may be in that same position that I was years ago, and you're receiving money, you're earning money every month, at least to a reasonable extent. You can't say that you are poor. Of course you're not, because every month you are earning quite all right. But the challenge is, at the end of the month, in most cases, by the middle of the month, you are left with nothing. Now, the reason this is happening is because you're not paying attention to your liabilities. Now, what are liabilities? These are things that takes money from you. There is something called liabilities. There is something called assets. Liabilities are those things that keeps taking money from you. Assets are those things that generates money for you. Assets are profits. You get the point now? Now, I was not aware as at that time that my liabilities was not growing. It was growing, and it grew to a point where it became way more than my assets. It became more than my income. And this is where many people have found themselves. There are people who are choking right now financially as a result of these things that I'm sharing with you. So we're going to be looking at 5 things you need to know about liabilities and what you should do to avoid them in your life. The first thing you need to know about liabilities is that they are financial burdens that comes to slow you down. Now, this is where you need to start paying attention to what is happening in your financial life. This is where you need to make a conscious decision to start taking stock of your expenses. There are people today who are not paying attention to their expenses. They pay attention to their earnings, to their income, but they are not paying attention to their expenses. So they spend money here and there. When you ask them, "What did you do with money this month?" or "What have you done with money so far?" they are just standing there and gazing at you, because they cannot really give account of where their money went to. But I can tell you this, when you come to that point, it means that you have a lot of liabilities in your hands. Liability, financial burdens, they come to slow you down. That moment where you have to pay for that subscription, You have to pay for the rent, you have to pay for your debt, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for that. So when you receive your income, when you receive your salary, discover that you have paid every other person, you finish spending the money, and in most cases you'll be left with nothing, and yet you are earning so well. So the first thing you need to know about liabilities is that they are financial burdens. Burdens that are meant to slow you down financially. If you want to avoid this, I want you to take out time and begin to write down the things that you know that you don't need. You're going to write these things out and get rid of them. In my own case, I began to look into several things that, they weren't important, but yet I was spending money into those things. I was sending money in those areas. Then we had some offices that they were just there. They were not really generating income, but they were just there taking money. So I had to move some of those activities into some other offices and close some of those offices. And that was how I began to cut down on the liabilities. And you too can do the same thing. You need to sit down and identify those things that are taking money from you now. So the first thing you need to know about liabilities is that they are financial burdens. The second thing you need to know about liabilities is that they keep you in a cycle of financial struggles. You find yourself, you're just going around circles. And guess what? You will be making money quite all right. At the end of the month, you are smiling. But in most cases, before the money comes, it's already over. Oh, I've been there. It can be a very painful journey. I'm telling you, it can be a very painful journey. There were times when I felt so bad. I didn't understand what was happening until I was educated. This is why you see financial education is so important. At the end of this video, I will talk to you about a free course on financial education that I put together that will help you to understand what financial education can do for you. You get the point now? So liabilities, they are meant to keep you in a cycle of financial struggles. You just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. And this is not good for you. You will discover that you are drowning in debt. You will be putting in so much effort, but financially it will not show. You will still be like a man who's got no job. This is not the kind of life you want to live. So this is something that you actually need to work on. You get the point now? Now, the next thing you need to know about liability is that they make you unable to account for your earnings. This is another thing that you need to understand about liabilities. You will just be in that spot. You're unable to account. I've been there, so I know what I'm telling you. So this is something that you need to look into in your financial work. Remember, it's not about how much you earn. Earning is very good. But while you are earning, you must make a conscious decision to work on your expenses. If your expenses becomes more than your earnings, you are in trouble. That's a fact. So this is something that you actually need to work on. Now, the next thing you need to understand about liabilities is that they make you lose self-esteem. They make you lose confidence. Because that moment when you spent on this, you spent on that, you've paid everybody but yourself. Oh, you are always left without money. It's a terrible place to be in. I'm telling you. You get to that point where you lose self-confidence, you lose self-esteem, and somehow you will think it's a huge problem. But guess what? It can be fixed. Now, the final thing that I want you to understand about liabilities is that, liabilities make you unable to achieve any major financial project, any major goal. That vacation, you are not able to go for it. You are not able to buy that house. You are not able to buy that car. It will deprive you of that life that you truly want to live. And this is why you must begin to pay attention to it. You have to pay attention to your expenses. Look inwards now. As I'm sharing this with you, look inwards. Take a pen, take a piece of paper, and then begin to write out all your financial commitments on a monthly basis. There are some of them that are so genuine. For example, like when I told you that I went through that same thing, it's not like I was wasting money. I wasn't wasting money. Most of the liabilities I had, they were all genuine. But the challenge is, there were some of those things that I needed to take out of the way. And you too can do the same. There are some things now that could just be genuine. For example, those days, one of the things I used to do is that I don't pay our light bill at once. When it comes the first month, I just toss it aside. So in most cases, I will pile it for the first month, the second month, and the third month. That is when I usually like to go and pay. And guess what? This time around, it has piled up a great deal. And when I'm paying it off at this time, I'm just doling out a lump sum from my earnings. And when that happens, the earnings are gone. This is why you see that, bad money habit can go a long way to put you in a mess. I have done a video on 8 habits that can make you poor. I will just put that video in the link below. I'm sure you will see the thumbnail showing now on your screen. I've done several videos on that. I also did a video on how to know if you are not working towards good financial health. I will link those videos below for you. After this video, go and watch those videos because it will help you to understand certain financial habits that can make you poor. Most people think that poverty is the absence of money, but I can stand here as a financial coach and tell you that poverty is not the absence of money. Yes, poverty is not the absence of money. Poverty is the absence of management. One of the key reasons for poverty is the absence of financial management. And that's another list. I've actually addressed this very topic in one of my premium courses, Crack the Money Code. It's volume 1 and volume 2. You can opt for that course, an audio course that would change your life completely. I can guarantee you that. I took out time to dedicate one module, for this purpose, exposing poverty. You get the point now? So anyways, that's by the wayside. Go check that course and see if it's something that you will be interested to go for. So you've got to work on your liability. Pay close attention. Pay close attention to what is happening, in your expenses. Look inwards now. Look at those areas that are consuming money. You may not be wasting money per se, but there are some things that may look genuine. For example, do you eat out? Do you have this habit of smoking? Or do you have this habit of, going for a particular kind of coffee every day? There are certain things that you need to look into now that may be taking money from you. In fact, in a nutshell, anything that is taking money from you and is not putting money back into your pocket, you have to watch out for those things. You need to analyze it very well. If they are not important in your life, my friend, you've got to consider striking it off. I did that, and I'm telling you, I was able to save up a whole lot of money at the end of the day. And that was because my CA educated me on this. So I want to leave you with these thoughts. What could that thing be that is taking money from you? Identify your liabilities. Identify it. Like I told you earlier, take a pen and paper. Write out all your expenses. Then sum it up together and compare it with your income. And then check which of those things are not so important. And then you strike them off. You discipline yourself. You'll be shocked how much you're going to keep. You'll be shocked how much you're going to save. So that'll be all for this video. I believe that you've gotten value from it. If you have done so, let me know your biggest takeaway in the comment box. And don't forget to smash the like button. Share with your friends and families who need to hear these thoughts. I'm telling you, it will go a long way to change their lives. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I want you to consider subscribing. And don't forget to sign up for my free course, The Power of Financial Education. It will change your orientation. I'm telling you. I will just put the links below. Go through those links. Take out time. See, this channel is focused on educating and equipping you financially. And I'm telling you, if you have gone through most of my videos, you will become financially smart. So take advantage of these things that I'm sharing with you, because it will go a long way to help you.